All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Heroes Wanted. Today we have a new hero answering the call, and as a refresher for everyone watching and all of the players, we are going to go over a little bit of the world and what is going on. The party had started over here in New Eglia on the northern shores of a massive lake akin to the Great Lakes here in the real world. And in the town of Lakeshore, they discovered evidence of possible vampires infiltrating the upper nobility. Throughout the weeks and months that have followed, they have slowly ground their way, through the sewers, through broken down ruins, through underwater half flooded temples, and they have come out the other side chasing and being pursued by a vampire general named Visanthus. And having defeated his top minion, Laor, the Dread Knight, an undead monstrosity that was nearly impossible to keep down, they now find themselves just over the border of Carpathia, a land known for dark magic and dark lords, but it has also kept them a free state, uh, unvassaled by Caledonia and their massive grabs for power, as well as being sandwiched between Eglia and New Eglia, two of the most religious countries that there are. They have done quite well for themselves, so they are a powerful nation, and you guys find yourselves just over the border confronting one of their top generals. You have managed to clear out the Shadow Tower, stolen his carriage and horses, fled as fast as you could back towards New Eglia, were caught by Laor and had to face him, and now you find yourselves without a carriage, wondering what to do next. But before we can get to that, Soggy has run off with the Moonblade, and we need to figure out exactly what happened after he disappeared. So, I bet you would. Soggy, we are going to start with you. You are running through an open field for what feels like forever, but in truth was probably, you know, 15 minutes, maybe less. And you all of a sudden look up into the sky and you see a um, storm cloud moving in rapidly from the west towards your location. And as it does so, you are overtaken by it, and the sun is completely blotted out, and you find yourself in complete darkness. And I apologize for the players who do not have dark vision. Um, you will, of course, you know, not be able to see uh, right off the bat, but I promise you we will get to it quickly. Um, in the meantime, Soggy is here and ready to go. So we are going to begin by telling Soggy the other guys are not right behind you. They're just on the maps that they can see when it's time to see something. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, you're moving forward and the trees start to get a little thicker and there's a hill. And what do you see, Soggy?
Bones.
You
Soggy
see
sort of is crying as he's clutching the hilt of the one Sunblade now turned Moonblade, crying as he does, sort of like cursing to himself. Why is Soggy such a bad friend? Why is Soggy such a bad friend?
Okay. So as you climb the hill, you can tell that there has been a battle fought here, you know, within the last year. It's impossible to say exactly. The crows have picked most of the skeletons clean, and people have come by and scavenged any bits of armor or weaponry that would have been useful. But the bodies were left to rot in the sun. So these must be soldiers or people that were very hated by the Carpathians for them to leave them just rot in the sun like this. And so you are sitting at the top of this hill surrounded by these skeletons and you're crying, and as you do so, the rain begins to pour down, just like heavy, but almost not quite, but almost in a comical way. It is super concentrated, like right on the hill. It's one of those things where you can look out and see the rain falling from one cloud on one specific area and nowhere else. And it is just completely downpouring on you. And as you begin to cry and hold the Moonblade suddenly activates and the silvery light shines forth from it, stretching out.
Soggy tries to quickly put it away, sort of like in a panic, sort of like just panicked in a way.
Okay, and exactly like what do you mean by put it away? I told you the blade is coming out now,
Like
so
tries to put it into a pocket or something. Just
but the blade is out.
yes, Soggy is trying to get the blade to go back in, sort of like cursing himself, like saying that he's such a stupid friend, like he's so stupid.
Okay, well, Soggy shouldn't be too hard on himself. The blade is safe right now and not in the hands of Visanthus, so there is a whole lot of good that is happening. It's just, the story goes on, and so things are going to happen that aren't necessarily good. That's part of being an antagonist. So, don't take it like you did something wrong when I say that the blade is out, and you're not sure, like you shouldn't just go stabbing the blade into yourself is what I'm saying.
Yes, I know. I just
I disown my family.
Well, yeah, but I know he's like desperate to hide the sword. I just don't know what he means by like what would you like to do?
trying try and focus to put away the trying
Okay,
to make the
so
blades
so
like
as you grip the handle and focus, I want you to go ahead and roll a wisdom save.
ornament.
Yep, no problem. Okay. It's not moving, it just came out, like he was holding the blade, he was holding the hilt, and all of a sudden the blade was like or that might be copyright Lucasfilms and Disney or whatever. So uh, maybe it was like whoa, but whatever sound it made, the blade came out. And Soggy's still holding it now, so he's got like a lightsaber in his hands that he doesn't know, what to do with the blade. And so he grips it and he starts to focus, and he manages to control his inner eldritch power, and he doesn't channel his eldritch power through the blade, so you just are holding the blade still. Okay.
Soggy. What?
Nothing. I'm just reacting to Vathel Xavier typing there.
Soggy sort of like looks at the blades like glowing moonlights, and just sighs as he just sits down and sort of curls up into a ball with the blade sort of at his feet.
Okay. Yeah, so you got the sword there, and you're just like, you're kind of feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, and you don't know what to do. So you just are praying, I assume, to your patron.
That things will turn out right.
Yeah, yeah, that that everything will be okay, and that you'll be reunited with your friends, especially Donovan. And you're desperate, and the rain is just pouring down on you, but like the water actually feels good to you. It's something that is familiar and comforting. And as you're sitting, yeah, and as you're sitting there in the rain, soaking wet, soggy, as some might say, the glow of the blade illuminates the bones of the skeletons around you, and you start to imagine that you can see their eyes lighting up inside their heads from the light reflecting off of everything. It kind of looks like their eyes are lighting up, and as you almost laugh to yourself at the thought of all of their eyes lighting up, you suddenly realize that it is no mere illusion, and that the skeletons are indeed rising from the ground, somehow affected by the Moonblade's light.
Saki sort of looks around in panic and just sort of like is just in an, in in fear of all this happening. Just Saki just saying no 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 no.
And somewhere in between all those no's, he rolls initiative. Oh, you already did. Good job. So, uh-oh. You got the lowest initiative. That is not optimal. I don't know if you've read D&D for Dummies, but it says going last is not optimal. All right. So the first skeleton kind of rises from his grave and shambles forward. He has to use half of his movement to rise from prone, but he's able to do so and still attack you with his claws. Ooh, and he strikes you for 3 bludgeoning damage as his bony claws batter against your kobold horny skull.
Saki is just sort of is still curled up, trying to defend himself and the blade now.
Oh, the next one like tries to hit you but gets entangled with his other skeleton buddy, and they're just like kind of three stooges fighting over who gets to attack you. And the last skeleton here stands up from prone as well. The other one did too, but he was right next to you. But he can only make it to you and not attack. Did you subtract the 3 hit points? Yep, I see that you did. Okay,
Yes, I did.
good. All right, Soggy, it is now your turn, but remember before you go casting any spells that you are now surrounded by 3 skeletons.
Oh, that's why I plan to use a spell that really it just catches my fancy.
I bet I can guess which one. Oh, where's my crack-a-boom?
I'm the teleport. Oh, where's? Well, it's not really set into like the into the micros.
It should be. Yeah. Yeah, you just it's the on the second row, Thunderwave there. So, they got to make a con save 14 or take 17 damage. And I assume you want to get which two? These two over here or these two
I
down
said I
here?
would understand the wave.
What's that?
It was step.
Oh, it wasn't Thunder Wave, it was Thunder Step. Oh, that is why I got confused. Oh, all right. Let me roll their saves real quick, and then you can go ahead and teleport. I thought you were going to do Thunder Wave and try to push 2 of them away right away.
I mean, it is a teleport.
Yeah, no, teleport. Very smart. All 3 of them fail. So they take 17 thunder damage, and does it push them? Nope, just thunder damage. And that destroys all 3 of those skeletons. They shatter apart as your massive boom of thunder cracks and a bolt of lightning comes down from the cloud above you, and as it strikes you, you teleport and reappear further to the south.
Soggy is sort of trembling as he's holding the moon blade in his hands and just sort of crying now. He's just sobbing.
Yeah, this isn't good. So, what do you do about the moonblade still shedding its light here?
Soggy tries to make it kind of sink back, like turn back into a hilt.
So you're just continuing to grip it and pray?
He sort of like shake it to try and get it to get back into its hilt.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me another wisdom save. I know all of you are just like, oh my god, what is happening? Why is he making wisdom saves? So, as you try to concentrate and pray to your deep one patron and focus on the blade, a small amount of eldritch energy zaps from your eyes onto the blade, and it like creates this feedback loop where you can see into the blade, and what you see is a vast, ever expanding black, blacker than anything you've ever seen because you have dark vision, and it just is complete void, and it ripples and waves, and as it does so, you can see through to infinity. Make an intelligence save. Okay, you fall completely unconscious. Essentially, you are seizuring. You're holding the blade, and it is shooting the light straight up into the sky and creating like a full moon where there was just a storm cloud before, and so now um, it is dimly lit here, but the light is coming from the blade, and it's essentially like a beacon that everybody can see leading straight to you. And now we're going to jump back over to the other party real quick.
Indeed.
All right, I suppose I'll remove Laura's head, put it in my inventory, and jump on, I guess, one of the war horses and scream out, "We have to find Soggy!"
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty reasonable for what Donovan would do there. So you guys can actually have a head start towards the way that Soggy was going to go. Obviously, the Carpathians didn't, but you guys knew which direction he was headed, so you could jump on the horses and start heading that way. Uh,
Do I perceive any tracks in
uh,
order to help us with the proper direction?
well, that would be your survival versus Soggy's stealth. Unless he was leaving you guys an obvious trail, something to follow that only you would know, but you guys would have had to have discussed that beforehand. Otherwise, it's just the rope incident all over again about how many tugs means everything's okay. So, at the end of the day, Soggy, you're going to need to roll stealth because you were obviously trying to hide from the Carpathians. And then, Vathel, you're going to have to roll your survival to try and follow him. But as you're doing that, Vathel and Donovan, Leofer, you can see, is like channeling some kind of energy through the dagger that you guys recovered from the personal effects of Laor there. He has taken it and he is channeling some kind of arcane energy. And as he does so, he kind of makes a swipe in the air and steps through a ripple in space and time. And as he does so, for a second, you can see him stepping into what looks like the Feywild, and as he does so, all of a sudden, a giant, uh, bluish-skinned, red-nosed, black-haired being steps in to yeah. Leo first just like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And he's been trying to get back to the Feywild, but somehow when he teleports to the Feywild, this Furbolg takes his spot, and has no idea how he got here.
I basically yell out, "By the gods! What the fuck just happened?" As I'm looking at the fur bug that just appeared in the universe space.
Yeah, and he's like as big as Lore. This is like a big guy.
And then I kind of like summon my weapon a little bit, and I'm like, we just defeated one big one. Hold your ground, or else you're next. And I say, who are you?
Now remember,
What,
you only speak Elven and Giant,
um,
and you're still going to be learning, the common language here. So as he's speaking to you in the common tongue, it's all Greek to you.
So I'm like here now, like right next to them, right? And I'm
Yes. Oh,
sort of just
and you
confused
find
what's going on.
you find yourself uh next to a wagon that is tipped over, and there is an obviously evil looking guy who has been decapitated, and his black skull adorned armor is still on him. And then you see like a shining paladin of a knight on a warhorse, and you see a dark skinned elf that you know as the Darrow or the Drow, which were the cursed elves. However, in the Feywild, like the dark archfey still have power, so like it's not unusual to see a Darrow in the Feywild.
I guess I sort of talk back in what's the language that I would speak with my family and community that I'm from.
Either
Sylvan.
either Giant or Sylvan, yeah.
Yes, I'll probably talk back in Sylvan. Hello.
So
I don't know if
Vathel, you would understand now what he's saying.
and I basically respond back, "Hello."
I'm gonna look at
What are you
everyone
doing here?
nervously. I don't know. I was just out for a walk, and now here I am. I'm sort of just like looking around, like not really understanding what's going on.
And I still kind of have my hand on my weapon, but not as fierce as I had it before. And now I'm more interested than I am attentive, I guess. And I say, we need to go hunt for our missing friend. He went off. Is there any way that you can help us?
Yeah. Do I know that this like is a different?
Oh, you can tell right away that you are not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. And
Yeah.
and also, again, you come from like a real hippie commune kind of place. So like not knowing where you are and like turning completely into Marshall Erickson and being like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you," is like completely within your nature.
Okay. And does the landscape here look like pretty different? Like,
Yeah, you are used to lush gardens, subtropical jungles, hanging forests like the Spanish moss willows of the Louisiana swamps. Just luscious life and flowers and plants everywhere. And this place is like decidedly less that. And even though you're in a vast open plains with like grass growing everywhere, like you can just feel the complete loss of like life forms around you, and like it feels utterly and completely empty and alone here in a way that gnaws at your soul, like somebody from the material plane would feel if they went to the Shadowfell. Like you'd probably go into a coma if you ended up on the Shadowfell.
this the air here doesn't feel quite right. I sort of
Right.
look around at the trees and the grass. If I help you guys out, can I will you guys maybe take me somewhere where I can get back to where I'm from?
We can try, but staying here can only lead to your death. We just defeated a bad army, but we have no idea how many more are coming. So we must find our friend before time is too late. So if you come with us, we can at least help you get away from here. And that's what I can promise you for now.
Yes, it sounds good. I will help.
So,
We have to get going.
luckily, there is a horse that is very, very big that is nearby. So, you guys could all still get on horses.
So it's Furbolg capable?
It should be. It held Laor in his armor.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I have the big horse as well that can fix you as well.
So I'll walk up to the horse and sort of pet its mane, and I'll talk to it using what's that feat called? Some
Animal friendship or something.
speech of beast and leaf.
Yeah.
I'll just sort of
I-
run my hand along it.
Yeah, I was going to
Wait,
point
sorry,
that
you
out.
go
If you didn't already, I was going to point out that you can actually like have a form of communication with animals. Soggy also has that as a kobold, so I'll describe to you how it works in my game. You're the intelligent one, okay? So you can talk to them, but like they're still animals. So they have a very limited like train of thoughts. They like food, they like scratches, something like a horse or a dog obviously is going to be like a little more, capable of communication and all of that, but just understand that like basically the horse is like, "Hey, you got an apple?"
Yeah, so I walk up to it and sort of run my hand along the side of its head.
It kind of
Hey,
bucks back and it's like, "Hey, apple."
Whoa, big guy. Now, with your permission, I think I'd, I'm still scratching him, like trying to make him feel better, I guess. Would it be all right if I maybe rode on you for a bit?
Got an apple?
I don't have any like bags or anything on me, so I'm just sort of like looking around. So I turn back to shout out to the whole group, or I guess the only one that would understand me. This horse is looking for an apple. Do you happen to have any food on you?
Check the overturned part.
Yeah, indeed, Vathel being right by the cart there, you can see that some of the apples have spilled out of the basket that you guys had them in, but they're still apples there.
And I asked him, what's his name? Furbog, what's your name? I don't think I want to keep calling you Furbog.
So do I understand him?
Everybody speaks common.
No. Remember, common is like Latin. Only the educated people speak it. So the Furbolg here doesn't have a grasp of the common language just yet. However, he does speak Sylvan, which Vathel speaks, which allows them to communicate, and Vathel and you both speak common, which allows you to communicate.
So I guess I'll actually just go ahead and, not being able to understand him, I'll go ahead and cast Comprehend Language.
As the Furbolg begins to twist his fingers and chant in an arcane language, suddenly he is able to communicate with you easily.
I'm sorry, could you repeat what you just said? I couldn't understand what you were saying. That was to the person that was just talking to me that I couldn't understand.
Great, that guy speaks leaf, apparently.
Did someone ask me my name?
Yeah, I was asking your name. This is, and I kind of tell him my name is Vassal.
Oh, my name is Sal, for short.
Sal?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and like bend down and grab like 2 or 3 apples, and then head back to the horse as well and start feeding him an apple or 2.
Yeah,
Here
and
you go, big guy.
this is a huge horse, big enough to support your 7'7" frame. So like you can only imagine how big this horse has to be. And
Now,
so he hungrily eats the first apple, and he looks at you and looks at the other apple, and he's like, "Is that one for me?"
Yeah, I hide the third apple, but yeah, I take out the second one, and yeah, if you let me ride you, this apple's all yours, big guy.
And he chomps it down. Come on, get on, get on.
Yeah, so I pat him again and hop on.
He continues chomping at the apple and just, you know, gives you a little shake to help you settle into the saddle because he can tell that you haven't really ridden a saddle before.
Yeah, I'm sort of wobbly, like trying to get used to it.
Yeah.
But and then I wait to see what everyone else does, and I sort of look around at everyone.
and I yell back, "You ready, Sal?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Donovan, let's go. I'm following you."
All right, I guess I'll charge off with the
Well, I guess
fierceness.
all three of us are trying to follow Donovan to the best of our ability then. And I'm very close behind Donovan too. So if he needs help, I'm there to help him as much as possible, or him help me.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and grab one of the horses then, Vathel. Which horse are you riding?
So what are my choices?
There's 5 riding horses. Donovan grabbed the war horse, and Sal has to have the other war horse because it's the only one big enough for him. I can get you a different picture though, because they don't all have to be 5 identical black horses. Like one of them could be like a dapple or something like that.
There's a war horse above the carriage.
Is
Are
there?
you moving me, or am I moving myself? I don't
You're
see any
moving.
horses.
You're moving yourself. Oh yeah, there is a war horse above the carriage.
All right. Then I think my screen is acting up, and that's why it looks as if I'm moving.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't get ready. Yeah. I think my screen is acting up at the moment.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, I will grab the war horse for you if you like.
Yeah, I don't see any horses. The only thing I see is the falling carriage. I don't see anything else. That's why.
I would like to rope one of the riding horses by its lead so that it can just kind of like march behind my horse.
Don't forget about the anvil.
We don't have any means of being able to carry it.
At the moment.
Donovan
It's
is a true hero and friend to you, and he wants to make sure that he gets to you as soon as possible. So he's not going to worry about the anvil right now. He's just racing off towards you.
Saying just remind you, just saying sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I'm just, saying that it makes sense that like he wouldn't be worried about that right now. Like, it's time to go do what heroes do. All right. So as you guys are
Screen,
what?
on my screen, I only see the fallen cart. I don't see any horses or anything.
Oh, no
So
worries.
there's no horse for me to pick.
No worries. I'm going to move you to a new page and it'll refresh everything and you should be good to go.
All right.
So it should be
black. I don't
the 3 of us, the 4 horses.
Token, but the screen itself is black. Yeah, my screen itself is black. I just see my token, and I see half of Sal. That's all I see on my screen. Now my token just disappeared. I guess it's in the black screen, but my whole screen is black.
Oh, hold on.
That's why I didn't know you were saying pick a horse, but I didn't see any horses before.
Yep. I'm double checking your vision because you should be able to see right now.
Oh, also, I set my transmuter stone to have 60 feet of dark vision as well. I think you have to change that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And sorry, not trying to be a pain, but I did rope one of the horses.
Yeah, I know.
Riding horses.
I'll grab you your horse. Don't worry. You're not being a pain. It's just you're like, give me my fucking horse. Huh, I still have to put that on? Really? No, I shouldn't have to put that on. Hold on. Yeah, you should be able to see right now.
Nope. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see.
yeah, I can't see anything. I see a little patch of green at the top and the bottom, but everything else is black screen.
Huh. One moment. Let's get you guys a torch and see what happens. But Vathel should be able to see. Is that doing anything for you guys?
Nope.
I can see. You may need to reload your Roll20 page.
I just closed and opened it back up because my movement was messing up a second ago.
Can
So
can,
I literally just closed
can
out and
you
opened up a second ago.
can you see, Sal?
Yeah, I do see. Yeah, it looks like I can see everything.
Okay. I'm gonna try again for Vathel.
I saw the ping, but should I try and close and come back in again?
I definitely would because you should for sure be able to see like Soggy's light and all kinds of stuff by now.
No. All right, just give me a second. I mean, I'll follow along and I can roll until we fix the issue. I just can't see anything at the moment. I should be back in a minute.
All right. That is really frustrating though because like everybody else you're seeing everything fine, right?
Yeah, I see it just fine.
All right. Yeah. I will have to troubleshoot that, but
All right, all right. I see now.
oh, okay, good, good, good. So much better when you can see. Anyway, you guys ride and ride hard, and as you do so, you can see the storm cloud that is over the hill that Soggy is on. You see the hill rising before you, and you see the rain just falling like a mist. And to you, you can see the sun still behind it, so there's a rainbow, but in the area where Soggy is, it is just dark and stormy, and you're riding hard towards it. But as that happens, the the blade shoots up a light, and suddenly there is a burst that like bursts out all around everyone. So everyone, including Soggy, make a Constitution save.
Go ahead and add 4 to those con saves.
Not you, Soggy.
That's 19 for me.
Yeah. Sal got an 11. Donnie Boy got a 15.
Nice. I like that. Add 4.
Oh yeah. Donovan being a protector type paladin is very, very good for the party.
I think that's gonna be my next. My next campaign, I'm gonna play Paladin to try it out.
Soggy,
Yeah.
you got to roll a con save.
Sorry. Just
That's okay. Okay.
Nice.
So,
22. Oh,
yeah. So everybody who rolled above a 15, so everybody but Sal, you guys are only going to take half of this damage. Sal, you will be taking the whole thing.
Oh man.
What's hitting us?
A wave of Moonblade pulse energy.
And we're all taking damage from this, or is it half damage and Saul taking full?
Saul takes 11, everybody else takes 5. And then if you, yep, you already know how to do it. Perfect. All right, and now I got to roll for the horses.
They should receive my protection as well.
Oh, now the horses are considered allies too?
of course they are.
Well, I mean, you're letting me ride you.
They're within the aura.
Okay. So, what we have here is one
failure
horse. Yeah, a failure to communicate. One horse managed to save, and I'm going to say that that is the horse that you are on top of because I would have worked left to right anyway. So it works out good story wise as well that like you're channeling this energy, and it works really well for the horse that you are directly sitting on. Not so well for the rest of them, and they all end up taking 11 damage. Your horse takes 5. And suddenly they are tired and don't want to keep running. And the riding horse is like near dead. And speaking of dead, rise from your graves.
Do we see Saga at all then, or
Yeah, you guys can see Soggy.
where are we hearing that from?
Uh, rise from your graves. That's golden axe or altered beast reference. Old Genesis game.
Right, right.
I
Oh,
know
great!
it.
We're gonna do it. Mutant werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was a werewolf and like a half dragon thing or something like that.
Can I shoot up towards the right side then?
You can uh, do whatever once it's your turn. What are you trying to do?
No, when I start to see skeletons pop up, I'm gonna shoot towards the right to give me a more advantageous point to Archer. That's why.
Well, yeah, we're gonna roll initiative. They're not standing yet. They're still on the ground. So like you'll have a chance to do something possibly unless they're like super fast skeletons.
All right. What was he? 28 days later, skeleton.
Oh boy.
All right.
Not
So let's go ahead and roll initiative and find out.
Not getting good rolls.
we're starting a game like that already. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Has everyone rolled initiative? Donovan, Sal, Soggy Vethel. Yep. Soggy, you roll an intelligence save to try and wake up from your little seizure. You do not wake up this round. You sit rigid with the sword clutched in your hands, shooting a beam up into the sky. Another pulse seems imminent if the energy continues to build.
What?
You gonna die. You gonna
Quick question. Do I see that Soggy was stationary? Or do I
die.
see that he's dazed?
Yeah, you can tell that he is not loving life right at this moment.
Okay.
Speaking of not loving life, I should mark all of these guys as prone just so that I remember who is prone and who is not. All right, so one of the skeletons off in the corners of the shadow of where most of you can see, uh, there is a skeleton that was buried underneath a couple of other bodies, and so the scavengers were not able to pick clean his armor, his shield, or his weapon, and he stands up and shuffles 15 feet towards the horses. This skeleton stands up, and he is still gripping a crude shortbow, longbow. I forget what they have. Shortbow. A crude shortbow that the scavengers didn't feel was worth picking up. So he stands up and fires one arrow, not at the also prone Soggy, but at let's say Sal, because he's a big target.
That'll be a hit.
Yeah, even with your mage armor, which I'm gonna assume since you have like 6 hours or 8 hours or however long with it, that you just pretty much have it on, right away whenever you see any kind of chance of danger, which certainly being teleported to another realm would qualify. So you probably have had it on since you arrived here in this realm. But that only brings you up to a 14. So it's still going to hit. The arrow manages to glance off of your broad, muscled shoulder. It doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but, you feel it. So you take 6 piercing. And then this skeleton stands up from prone. Wow, you guys weren't kidding. You really didn't roll too high. It's alright. It's not who hits first, it's who hits last. He stands up from prone and shuffles towards your horses, scaring them, and tries to attack Vathel. But he has disadvantage because you're up on a horse. And he misses, so he kind of claws and scratches at you, but he only ends up hitting your Destroyer's armor plating. Alright, this guy also has a bow and stands up from prone. And as he does so, he kind of eyes up his options and just shoots at Donovan. Oh, no, there's a tree in the way. I shoot at Vathel. Couldn't quite see that tree from the angle I was at when I first said that. That does not hit the nimble Vathel, as his armor and reflexes prove more than enough to avoid the arrow, and it just flies off into the distance.
I'd like an attempt to
Yeah, he uses his own bow to just deflect the arrow at the
charge.
last second.
I'd like an attempt to charge up to this skeleton while on horseback. Would that be possible?
No, because of the tree. You can't get a straight line.
Or what's the movement? What's the move distance of the horse?
60.
Oh, okay. I'll just I'll just see. It's about 30. So I mean, I should be able to make it there, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just yeah, I'll make whatever little corners I need to go around and charge up to that skeleton.
Okay.
I don't have access to that tile, but I'll just move Donovan over, assuming I'm still on horseback, and then I'll
Yeah,
pop it with
you can choose carry below when you need to move something like a horse, but it's all good. Charging in. Oh, I forgot to give you double attack on your mace. Charging in against the skeleton, you use your mace and you swing hard, cracking its skull with the first shot, but it's still standing. However, you get to make 2 attacks, so go ahead and crack it another good one. And again, this time you hit it so hard that it crumbles into a pile of bones.
sweet. Soggy.
Soggy is not responding. He is just not loving life.
All right, so you guys know the drill by now. I stand up from prone and then I do some skeleton stuff. But this time I am going to shamble towards Soggy. And then I'm going to try and kick him. Oh, wait. What am I saying? No, I don't. I completely reach out for the Moonblade and I'm touching it with my hands and my hands begin to glow.
And what do we see happen when he touches it?
His hands begin to glow.
The skeleton's hands begin to glow.
It was this one right here.
One to the south.
Right here.
Sorry.
Okay.
This bastard right here is getting all touchy-feely with the Moonblade light. He seems drawn to it like a moth. You there, Xavier?
Yeah, is my turn already? All right. I wasn't sure if the skeleton and it's his turn. All right. So my goal is to move to the right behind that tree, out of distance of the skeleton soldier, and then up right here with the horse. Two, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Did I provoke opportunity attack from that skeleton, or because I was on the horse?
Nope.
I'm good.
You're good.
All right. So I'm gonna take a shot at that skeleton that's south of Soggy. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, all I can do is take a shot. I have no self. Weapon.
Hit or miss. I guess you never miss.
Oh, nope. You gotta click on. Oh, the longbow. Oh, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I am so sorry, Xavier. I completely forgot your longbow.
So what are we trying to do?
You'll see. I was waiting for your reaction, and then I saw the longbow, and I was like, oh, that's why.
Because I can't really use the crossbow until after we have a long rest. So
No.
I'm just using
You're
longbow for
good.
now.
You're good. It's my bad. I should have already had your longbow up. Which weapon slot is your longbow in?
What do you mean?
Is
It's
it
in the
top?
ranged weapon.
Yeah, ranged. Is it top, second, third, fourth?
It's the third.
Third. Thank you. If this was not important, I would not be taking the time to do this, but it's only going to be another like 10 seconds, and it's so going to be worth it.
No worries. It's just to see what's about to happen.
Oh, you're going to like it.
It's gonna boot to Sal in a minute.
I figure if I can get it done before the countdown is done, I'm good.
Is there a measurement tool?
Yes, sir. On the right, it kind of looks like a upside down Q.
Yeah. And if you click on your token and then right click, you're gonna see a yellow arrow pop up, and you can use that to measure distances from your character to other stuff.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But if you like unclick the right button, it's gonna actually move you. So you don't wanna. Right.
All right, Vathel. Use your longbow macro, please.
Give me a second. Longbow. Oh, I see it now. Did it go twice or did it go once?
It only fired once. I will get it working to where it fires twice, but you just got to click it again.
All right.
You like that though? Now
Cool.
it's all set up for you. All right. So, using your first set of rolls, you hit the skeleton twice for 12 and 11 damage. However, it is resistant to piercing, so it only takes 6 and 5 and is still standing.
My turn. Sorry, Sal's turn.
Would I be able to squeeze through where this tree and this horse is?
You might have to go around it, but just 60 movement.
Well, technically the horse is your ally, so he would move out of your way. So yeah, you can like move around the tree, but you gotta like come all the way over here to get around the tree.
Right. Yeah, I figured. And is this skeleton in combat with me? One right next to me.
It is because it tried. Oh no, it isn't. It tried to attack Vathel. Vathel just doesn't have his horse. Yeah. So it is in combat with you because Vathel rode off.
Okay. So if I tried to get away, I'd probably take a swipe.
Well, you're on a horse, so it would have disadvantage.
Oh. Okay. I think I'll just stay where I am, anyways. And I will go ahead and use Scorching Ray. I'm gonna shoot two of the beams at this skeleton that had just gotten shot at, and then I think I'll shoot off the third one. Do I see the skeletons way up at the top of the map?
If you can see them, you can see them.
Okay. Actually, I'll shoot my third one off this one right here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cast that.
You just click on your token, and then you'll see Scorching Ray up there, and it'll take care of the rest.
There's one. Ooh, I get to do 3.
It should have rolled all 3 for you.
Okay, yeah, it looks...
So you just take the first 3. It rolls 4 because if you cast it as a second level or a third level spell, then you could get 4.
Okay, so the first 2 miss the low health one completely, and the third one looks like it hits this guy.
Yep.
For 4 damage. Wow,
4
those rolls.
fire damage. Yeah.
What? These rolls have been so bad.
Yes.
What did you do? What did you do to piss off the universe?
I have no idea.
The fire hits the skeleton, burning into its chest, but it's still holding its bow and getting ready to shoot another arrow. Oh, and then because you're new, if you go over to the right on top, you'll see the settings gear, and then right next to it is collection. You click on that, and you'll see all of the macros. You want end turn, and you click on in bar, and then you scroll down to where it says show macro quick bar, and you click on that, and then you'll have a little button that says end turn, and you just click that whenever your turn is over. And that makes it nice and easy so that nobody's bugging you like, is your turn over? Is your turn over? You know, you'll end your turn when it's over.
And I yell at Soggy, get up and go to Donovan. What are you doing?
Soggy, roll an intelligence save with advantage because you can hear Donovan and Vathel, talking, and Vathel saying, go to Donovan, and like that, kind of triggers a little something. So now you have advantage on your save.
Get up, Soggy, get up.
All right, you just passed. So you are now awake but prone.
Looks around and says, Donovan? Soggy is going to get up and notice that the skeleton's trying to grab the blade, and Soggy's sort of like going to take his action to get up and sort of like get the blade away from the skeleton, and then attack him with the one of his daggers.
Okay. Which dagger?
The dragon bone one.
Okay. So, as you rip the blade away, you pull out your dagger and attack with it. You
What the
don't
fuck?
you don't make contact with the skeleton. It looks like you were about to, but then a light lights up and deflects your blade right off of it, and you can see the light spreading from his hand down his arm and lighting up every inch of his skeleton until he's like a glowing skeleton.
Saki sort of like looks at this scene and just says, "Oh dear."
So the skeleton soldier is going to chase after Vathel and try and attack him. At disadvantage because you're up on a horse. And he is unable to connect, and it just kind of swings and bounces off of the armor plating of the horse's flank. This skeleton is wounded, but sees Soggy trying to take away the blade and tries to shoot him with a short bow.
You mean, oh, right. I thought you said short sword.
No, short bow. Oh, he misses badly as the nimble kobold manages to duck below the arrow. The skeleton continues to claw futilely at Sal. He's just too big and has a big armored horse, and the skeleton just can't get at him. Not to inflict any serious damage, anyway. Donovan?
I'm gonna move up. How did you say that I moved the horse?
With the carry tokens menu?
I'm not sure I have. Okay, I'm
We'll
not.
go, we'll
Oh,
go over
okay.
it yeah, you know.
I'm not sure what that is either.
But I'll be right about here. Um, I'll jump off the horse. I will hit this skeleton here.
So, with your first swing, you crack the skeleton on the head, but again, the shining, glowing light seems to deflect your blow. Your second blow, he actually catches in his hand, and as he does so, you can feel him channeling necrotic energy into oh, you smite with the one that actually struck him. That is a horse of a different color. So as your mace comes down on his head, at first his light lights up and seems to deflect it, but you yell out some sort of, you know, I smite thee, demon or fiend, or whatever you say, and as you do,
I smite thee foul undead.
yeah, and as you do, your mace begins to glow. What color does it begin to glow?
Like a yellowish gold.
Yeah, so it turns into like a golden yellow light for a second, and crushes down on the skeleton's light and manages to deal 5 damage to him. But he has a different hit point total than he did, so give me a second.
By the way, I thought Donovan was multi-classing into Artificer.
I will, but not right now.
Oh, understood.
I was looking into Artificer and like it is cool and all, but like what the kind of idea what I was going like what I want to do, it's not exactly what Artificer does.
So yeah, this skeleton is still glowing, and
You know, and with them.
you can tell that it's a deal stronger than what you know it was just before. And it's like glowing this weird like silvery color now. You're like, oh, what's going on with this thing? Well, it doesn't seem to be helping it in the attack department, but at least it's tankier now. So yeah, Vathel, you are faced with the armored skeleton soldier, or you can try and take a ranged shot at, one of the other ones.
All right. The skeleton that's engaging Donovan, it looks healthier than it did before.
It looks like it's got like magical deflection and like increased fortitude, yes.
Is this a hill?
It is a hill.
All right. Is it? Am I able to go over it with the horse?
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't Skyrim.
All right. Just checking. All right. So I'm gonna try and move right here. This is be funny. What was that carry feature you were talking about before?
There's a carry tokens macro in the menu that if you select carry below, the horse will come along every time you move your token.
All right. I'll check it in a minute. All right. So I'm gonna attack this one to the north and one to the south. First and second. So I guess one takes 9, or 9 half, and the other takes 11, or 11 half, or nothing.
So the first one is going to take 5. I'm sorry, 4. As your arrow kind of bounces off of its rib cage. The second one, your arrow flies a little more true and strikes it right in the skull. And so now it's got like an arrow sticking out of its skull.
One of his eyes.
Yeah. But it still only does the 5 damage, so, you know.
What's a new twist to arrow in the knee?
Yeah, yeah.
My turn.
Okay, so I've got enough movement to get up here, it looks like. I guess, well, if I had to circle around the skeleton, I probably won't have enough to get there, right?
Not if you get off your horse.
Okay. I think I'll circle around the skeleton. Just so like I'm not, running away from it to take that attack, but so I'm a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah, as long as you don't leave its threaten range, you're good.
I think I will do another Scorching Ray. At the, I think I'll go for the skeleton with the bubble on him.
The one with the goblin on him?
Bubble.
The shield, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So as your scorching rays fly at the skeleton, it just kind of all bounces off of him like DBZ style, and like they just bing, bing, bing.
There it is. Wow. Are these attacks supposed to have my intelligence on them? Because it looks like it's just taking the straight up roll.
Yeah, they have your intelligence. If you hover over them, 1d20 plus intelligence plus proficiency bonus plus
Okay.
global spell attack bonus.
So
Hey,
they really
hey.
are just that bad of rolls.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't blame the software for your crappy rolling, man.
Yeah, that's I just couldn't believe it. So.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no, you can check
I guess
it.
that's my turn.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes the RNG be that way, you know. Trust me, it really sucks when you got like a huge boss fight planned out and then it just falls flat because like the boss can't hit anything and these guys are like, look at this chump. Thought he was the boss. Bow down. All right, Soggy, you're up. Donovan is by you. The sword is still lit up. What are you going to do?
Sagi's going to use water breath. He's going to try and. He's going to go over here and. 2 and 1. DM?
Oh, don't worry. I'm getting the rolls. Just gotta give me a second to get the rolls.
Wow, I'm a big fat moron. You know what? I have not been using Sacred Weapon, like my Oath of Devotion special ability.
Yeah. It gives you like Arcadius's blade for free.
Yeah. For 1
Yeah.
minute, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls. Weapon also emits a bright light of 20 feet and
Yep.
20 feet dim, and it's considered magical.
Just like Arcadius's blade, basically. All right.
Yeah, I'm starting using that more often.
Yeah. So the first skeleton that you hit is the one with the bonus, which I forgot to add into here. So he actually makes it and does not take any damage. But as your line of water passes around him, like some of it hits him, but like some of it continues to the skeleton soldier, he actually does take 8 water damage as he is bludgeoned by the jet stream spewing forth out of your mouth. And although the other guys have heard this a million times, Sal, you can smell the salty ocean spray of like the beaches. And so, it's really weird. It smells like the ocean.
Oh, Soggy, or Hazard, your preference. Should this skeleton try to hit you, would you prefer advantage or would you prefer for me to hit it?
Could you
With
hit it?
advantage? Sure.
The skeleton soldier sees, you know, an opportunity to try and grab the Moonblade. So he is going to saunter on up to Soggy. And then he is going to attempt to disarm you. So this is not an attack, it's a disarm attempt.
Sentinel. He's within 5 feet of me.
So you can still get him?
Yup.
Okay. You go first.
Seems I can't activate my macros because it's his turn. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, you've always had a weird thing with that. Like nobody else has ever had a problem with that. As you bring your hand axe brand mace down on the skeleton soldier, you actually don't get 2 attacks with this, I don't think. It's only with a standard action, and this is a reaction. Uh, you bounce off of his shield as he raises it and continues to try to disarm Soggy. And then you roll a strength check versus that. Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure I have this right. Weapon attack to knock an item from your grasp, and you make a strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics check. Okay, so it's your choice, athletics or acrobatics. The sword goes skittering from your hand to the ground. It's up for grabs.
Hold up. Is this a save?
No, it's not a save.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Otherwise, you'd give him the +4. Nope, it's just a check. So yeah, now the sword is on the ground. And this skeleton tries to shoot Donovan in the back.
I'm all battered and bruised, bloody, barely alive.
Oh, I know, it's been a long day already. Unfortunately, the arrow just bounces off of his chainmail armor and is unable to penetrate. This skeleton tries to attack Sal again. It's just like a completely ineffectual gremlin clawing at you, but it's not doing anything. And continuing to just, it's like basically holding on to the horse's tail now at this point, trying to stop you from riding away.
Alrighty. Strange, I can't seem to select my oh, I'm in never mind. I see why.
Because you had the ruler on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you follow that up with a secondary attack. All right, so unfortunately, your second attack does bounce off of his shield, but your first attack was actually enough. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see the damage was enough. As your first attack comes down on his helmet, it dents his helmet into his skull, and as you pull it away, you can see the imprint of the hand axe brand logo stamped into the helmet. And he crumples onto the ground in a pile of bones. Now, Mr. Glowy Face here heals 5 hit points. And then, whoa. And then tries to attack Soggy.
Is he still touching the sword?
No, Soggy doesn't have the sword
Or does he
anymore.
have the sword?
It's on the ground. And if Soggy wasn't in between this guy and it, he would totally like, you know, be all over
Okay.
that. Oh, Donovan smacks him with his mace, and it appears as though the shell is going to deflect it once again. But Donovan has his sacred weapon activated, and it deals +1 damage, and so that's 10. And it's magical, and then an additional 14 smite. It glows with the golden glow of the smite now as well, and deals a total of 24 damage, which is significant, but not enough to drop the skeleton.
Do you get an additional one because it's undead?
Nope. It is not vulnerable to radiant.
I thought there was something with Divine Smite where you could like roll another if it was undead.
He does.
Well, no, I mean, Divine Smite will do more damage because it's undead, but other than that, it's not like it's going to do a heck of a whole lot. Wait a second. If
Oh,
I'm not
it's at the
mistaken,
bottom.
Yeah, you
doesn't
have
it do like an additional?
you have a
It does
you
additional die attack damage, doesn't it?
yeah, and you have a ability where if they're an undead or a fiend, you deal additional damage, but you seem to have clicked no for that.
Yeah, that was an accident. You know what? I got into the habit because I was mistaken. Remember, like there was still like ranger macros
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
play.
Yeah. No. You should definitely redo that and see what is what.
Actually, you'd probably be best if what's the command to just roll?
Up.
Like was it roll and then one other like
Oh, you want to roll just the extra dice? It's double. It's
D8 in
Slash
there?
roll,
yeah.
slash
It's
roll 1d
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. It's double bracket. You can just
To
do
R,
you can just do double brackets 1d whatever you want, and then double brackets, and it'll roll it. I also have a macro for you called variable damage that'll allow you to do anything you want, like basically. Oh, you come up one short.
1 second. I just want to check my one of my things here.
The damage increases by 1d8 if it's an undead or fiend. So yeah, you definitely want to add the 1d8 to that.
Well, I added the 1d8 already, so that's 3d8s for the smite, or
Yep.
2d8s for the smite, and then yeah, and sacred weapon doesn't make me hit any harder.
No, it's just +1 to attack and damage though because it's a magic weapon.
Yeah, that should be pretty much all I can do. Let me just check the smite real quick.
So it's 18 instead of 17. Sorry, 10 instead of 9 on the original budget.
Yeah, I already did the 3d8s plus my attack damage.
Plus 1.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I can do on its
Yep.
turn.
27 points, one shy. All right, and then yeah, the skeleton attacks Soggy, um, and misses.
All right, so I'm going to take an attack at Glowy Face.
The one with the defiled shield, I like to call it, because it's like a divine shield, but for the undead.
Whoa! As you take careful aim with your longbow, you find a spot on the skeleton's skull where the light seems to be like concentrated, and you take careful aim and blast its skull apart. It shatters into 1,000 pieces that like blast out in every direction. It doesn't deal any damage, but you're showered with bone shards as it explodes everywhere.
And then my second one missed. Skeleton got to the top. I assume.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what do the skeletons at the top? What do they look like they're doing up there? Are they just like getting out of the ground?
Oh, those are just like backup skeletons if you guys like wander too far.
Oh, okay, so they're not coming over here yet.
No, they're just there in case I need to chase you guys some.
They're the
They
audience.
just don't want any of this smoke. That's what's up.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Man, the skeleton's been just on my butt this whole time.
Literally.
I mean, I think I gotta do another scorching ray, but I'm kind of scared. I'm gonna do it. So if I'm gonna do the first two at the skeleton that's right next to the big group of people we have up there, and then I'll do all three at it actually. So I think if I shoot the one right next to me, it's gonna be at disadvantage, won't it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just do all three at the far one and hope they actually hit him this time.
Well, the second and third one do. The first one kind of goes a little astray, but the second and third blasts light up the skeleton. Its ragged clothing burns, and it falls into a pile of ash.
So, any more skeletons left?
Well, there's the skeleton on
I think it's
Sal, and the that's it.
Soggy notices like this figure, the larger figure, thinking it's his old friend, the one that died by a
Yep.
fire.
Yep.
And instinctively he runs over and shoots an eldritch blast at the skeleton near him.
Well, you do that then. You launch two Eldritch Blasts. Oops, I forgot to double the damage. But that's okay, because it can't deal enough damage to not kill him. So the first blast kind of lights the skeleton up and lifts it into the air, and then you bring your other hand and channel another blast into it, and it just explodes it like Krillin.
I imagine it's like this. The way it lifts it up is through this current of fish, like it's being tossed up.
On like waves. It's like a blast of like watery waves that like lift it up, and then when you channel the other one, it sends like a swordfish swimming up the current until it pierces it and explodes it.
Yeah, and I sort of look over to Soggy like with an approving nod. Thanks. He was a bit of a pain.
Soggy sighs as he crumbles to the floor. Still sad. A sad look on his face.
The Moonblade is still glowing.
He looks to Donovan and says, how does Soggy turn this off?
I don't know.
He tries this. He looks. Uh, he looks to. He sort of looks around and sees a stone. Tries to stab the stone. Tries to stab the blade inwards, like sort of like a push pop. Like how you.
Oh, it's not a physical weapon. It's not like it's a Italian switchblade. Like it's.
Yeah, so as you stab into the stone, the glowing blade slices the stone in twain.
Can I say, Donovan, can you try whispering a prayer or something? Use maybe one of your paladin abilities will work.
How do I turn this off, you damn wraith?
Well, you're over here yet. Soggy came over by the stone. Like, what? Do you follow him? Do you grab the sword?
Yeah, I'll grab the sword.
As you grab the sword, you make a wisdom save. All right.
That's going to be a 16.
You are almost overtaken by the power of the sword and the wraith inside you. Everyone can see. First, it comes out the side of your face one way, looking like its young, paladin self, and then it comes out your face the other way, and it looks like this old, dried up lich, like an evil version of itself, and then your face begins to like distort and like it looks like you have three faces for a second, and then like you manage to get it under control, and the blade goes back in.
Oh, so I went all Yami Merrick for a second.
I don't know what that is. I was thinking like me, myself, and Irene.
Or Legends of Mordor when you go into spirit form.
That's a bad Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, little too old to have caught the Yu-Gi-Oh craze. All right, so you've got the Moonblade to stop glowing. There is a new person in front of you, and you just like dealt with Soggy and all these undead, and like you just came out of a battle. I mean, more or less, all of you are in a bad way right now. So what do you do?
Is the sword
I
still out?
sit down.
Yeah, Donovan sits down right on one of the rock halves and just like catches his breath. And then who was saying something? What do you do?
I was asking if the sword is still out or did it retract itself.
It's retracted.
All right, so I'm basically going to finish up the skeleton to the top, and I'm going to remain on my horse scouting
The
high view of the
skeletons
area.
on the top aren't actually there.
All
That
right,
that
I
that
got you.
was me being extra safe if I needed to throw some more enemies at you guys.
So I'm still going to stay attentive, and if anything just kind of comes out, because I'm still on high alert, I'm just going to keep my bow ready if anything comes out of the blue.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to ask Sagi, are you okay? Donovan, you all right?
Sort of.
I could use a little patching up, but a little worse for the wear.
All right, we have a little bit to rest, but we still need to go. We also can't stay here. And if we can go back and get some of our lost goods, now that we found Sagi, maybe we can try. But either way, we can't stay here for long. We have to decide what our next move is.
Yeah, I mean it would take at least an hour to do a short rest. So
Agreed.
Yeah, we don't have time for a short rest. Not here. We need to try and get someplace safe.
don't forget your horses are also all beat up from the necromantic magic that got released from the sword. But as you guys are sitting here for just a moment, the clouds begin to disperse and the sun comes back out.
All right, I feel a little bit more calm now that the sky has released itself.
I'm gonna pat Soggy on the back. Soggy, a trusted friend. You did good.
Soggy did not do good. Soggy caused you pain. Soggy brought death upon you. Soggy, bad friend.
My entire life is surrounded by death. It's nothing new. At least you kept the blade out of the hands of Lore in case we fell.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened if he would have gotten his hands on that during the battle. These simple skeletons almost got it from you. Imagine if you had been there with like an intelligent undead like Laor who could have like been like, "Oh, that's the Moonblade? Okay, mine now." And then he would have just been gone. Like there's no way you're going to like catch him and kill him with all his power to like keep going. Like he would have just been gone.
Right, I say to them, This sword is really capable of amplifying their evil abilities. We must find a way to change it, or fix it, or at least better control it.
I don't know of any rituals and I'm not one much for magic. In fact, if anything, as you know, it's this entity inside me that gives me the light that I've been using lately to smite what we've been going up against. I'm not much knowledgeable of the ways of religion or how to cleanse evil. The only thing that I can recommend is getting rid of the blade entirely. I know of a place. Sagi and I was once there with a group of former companions of ours. I'd much rather be able to cleanse it and purify it if we can, but I would recommend with great interest that if we can't find a way to cleanse the blade, that we cast it into the melted steel of the ruins of fire we once visited.
As Soggy hears the words ruins of fires, he suddenly remembers the fact that there's not just one elemental temple, but four. And Soggy's brain starts clicking together, and then he sort of jumps up in sort of just stands up in joy, with still hurting, but the water temple. Soggy knows how to find some way.
Okay, Sagi, what have you got in mind? What do you think we'll be able to achieve at the water temple that'll cleanse the blade?
Soggy knows that water is is the Bunyip's domain. It is what he is. It is what Soggy is gaining power from.
Is
Soggy
his power
he
stronger there?
sort of holds his hand upwards to like the show.
Is his power stronger at the temple?
Soggy does not know. Soggy hasn't been to the water temple.
And
We have been at the water temple.
if the cleansing doesn't work, can we destroy it there as well?
Well, Soggy does know that the that thing can be lost in the depths.
Okay, give me just 1 second. I want to explain to Sal what's going on so that he doesn't feel totally confused. Uh, they had a Sunblade. It was the blade of Arcadius, and that was their greatest weapon against these vampires. And it got stolen, and then a dark ritual was cast upon it to turn it from a Sunblade into a Moonblade. And now instead of dealing radiant damage, it deals a special kind of dark necromantic, necrotic type of damage that can heal undead and does redacted while in the hands of like powerful undead and all of that. So you guys got just a little taste of what can happen when the power is activated. Soggy uses Eldritch power from a patron god, a deep one. He doesn't really know or understand what it's all about, but it gives him power. And by channeling his eldritch power through the blade, it somehow activated one of its abilities, which appears to be raising undead.
Sagi, I mean this with all due respect, of course. Now, you say you're not sure what would happen if we took it to the water temple? Whether or not your god or whatever it is would be able to help us?
Soggy knows the Bunyip is a powerful being, ancient than all ancient. And if Soggy remember the dwarf friend? He told us that this world that the celestials and primordials used to be in harmony.
No, this conversation is literally taking just as long as it takes, which I doubt is going to be an hour. So it takes at least an hour to get the full effect of a short rest. Yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to deny you a short
That
rest. I mean,
being
take
said,
take a short rest, but you know.
I really suggest that we regroup, find a safe place, lick our wounds, and come up with a plan that we'll definitely be able to all agree upon and be sure of.
Soggy understands, and he sort of, as he sort of looks around and says, looks to Donovan and says, "Where exactly will we go? Back to the town?"
Now, Sal, the sage would have taught you one thing with all of his arcane tutoring and all that, and that's that necromancy is a twofold school. It can be used to heal and revive life, and it can be used to hurt and bring dark entities like the undead back, which are like tormented souls. And like undead is a very dark thing, something that you would have been taught is very like taboo, but you would have been taught about it. So like you're seeing undead for basically the first time ever coming from the Feywild. So, this is a turning point for you. You don't have to make any reactions if you don't want. You can have reactions if you want, but like this would be like a moment in your character's, arc where like you have been confronted with something that you have been told is taboo your whole life, and now you can like make your own judgments on it.
Yeah, so knowing that, I'd probably just go over to one of the skeletons that we killed, just sort of like look it over while everyone's talking.
Yeah, and you can see, the bones have been like charred from like the magic and everything that has been used. But when you look at it with your uh, hippie heart, you can like feel the negative energy still radiating off of it from the sheer rage and fury that the tormented soul used to animate it felt.
Yeah, so I guess I just sort of leave it alone then after looking at it for a bit and go back over to the group.
Yeah, and they're just finishing up that conversation that they just had. So now, you guys have spent 5-10 minutes kind of, quick licking your wounds. So like what do you want to do? Do you want to actually take a short rest, or do you want to move on? How do you want to play this?
Do you think it's worth trying to go back for the anvil and other stuff? Or should we just move on and leave it be?
Oh, I wouldn't mind um, at least checking out the darn, I forgot the name of the second thing that we took and kind of taxied onto the carriage.
Oh, the little pack wagon?
Yeah, the Romans had it, the Egyptians had it, the Persians used it.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
The chariot,
Yeah, the
yes.
chariot, yeah.
Oh, the chariot? Oh,
Not, yeah. How was that?
yeah, probably not so hot.
Well, it fell over, too.
Yeah, like remember you guys like flipped up in the air and everything. Like you only survived because you got lucky.
I mean, I would also still like to go back and check and see if we can at least get the goods, even if we can't get the chariot or the cart.
Well, the chariot
So
is
Would it stand to
basically
reason?
destroyed. Lore like broke the bottom out and then broke the back out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying
Would
to
it
see if we
stand
can
to
salvage something.
reason that I would be able to cobble together a makeshift wagon, cart
No town.
with its remains?
Not based on what you saw. The chariot might actually be fixable though because it was such a sturdy, badass war chariot to begin with that you could potentially still like get it, working. But again, you guys would be riding back in the opposite direction towards Carpathia. Um, I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'd rather not leave that anvil behind. Otherwise, we really have no means of being able to repair or craft our own equipment.
Right. I kind of just want to go within view, and if within view is bad, then we can just dip.
That's true. We can at least check it out, and if it's too dangerous or whatever, we can just abandon it.
But I do want to ride with caution, and yeah.
So he's
It gets
saying
a bit
that
close.
the shining armored paladin and the giant blue man probably aren't the stealthiest riders.
I suppose it stands to reason that we should rest here while you go off and make sure the fallen wagon is at least clear. Why don't you go on ahead and I'll tend to our wounds.
Soggy sort of walks up to one of the riding horse that is badly injured, and sort of soothes it with cure wounds. Since I have one,
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, you have like humanoid companions who are dying too, but I like that you go and heal the horse. That's cool.
I mean
No, no,
Donovan
it
really.
fits. It fits. It really does. Like you are more at home with the animals, so like yeah, you heal the horse back to full, and he like forms a bond with you, and he like thanks you and starts like nuzzling his head into you, and he like just thanks you over and over again.
Soggy sort of pets his muzzle. The sort of like smell of seaweed sort of fading away as the wounds heal. Because that's how Soggy's
Yeah, when you
cure.
when you touch him, it looks like seaweed kind of wraps around him, like glowing seaweed, and then it like kind of sinks into him, and his wounds heal, and he's fully recovered.
Yeah. Yeah, Soggy does have that sort of connection with animals.
And as you see the kobold talking to the horse, you can tell that he also has the ability to speak with animals to a limited degree. Sal.
Is Soggy wearing armor?
Like a set of chainmail made for a child.
Okay.
It helps him blend in with the shadows.
All right. So what are we doing?
Waiting for you to check out the cart, the wagon.
Yeah, so you're gonna need to roll a stealth check to see how stealthily you approach this wagon.
I'm not good at stealth. Well, I'm okay with it, but
Soggy might need to be the one that does that, actually. He might
Uh,
not be proficient in stealth, but he still has advantages. Certain
yeah,
advantages.
Yes, but
he's small and he blends in with the shadows. Yeah. All right. So Vathel, as you move, along riding your horse back to where the carriage was, you remember to dismount and get down when you get, so far away, and you're able to see that the carriage is surrounded with Carpathian knights About an hour and a half to ride there and back. And the carriage is surrounded by Carpathian knights, and they have a couple other wagons pulled up, and they're like kind of starting to salvage what they can from the area.
All right, I go back.
All right, so yeah, like I said, you guys can now get the benefits of a short rest, having waited an hour and a half for Vathel to ride back. Vathel, however, because you were riding and everything, of course, you don't get.
I'm okay. I'm good for now.
Yeah,
I
no,
was just worried about as a group that we're all too low,
right.
but I can. I'm okay for now.
No, I know. I was just letting you know. And then Sal, I know you didn't, spend all of your spell slots, but if you look by clicking your token at your macros, you'll see you have arcane recovery that you can use during this short rest if you would like to. Yep, there you go.
Perfect.
Oh, and by the way, the color I was saying that kind of looks like is periwinkle. I finally remembered what it was. Like after we were talking, it's like, oh yeah, periwinkle. That's what that color reminds me
Oh, yeah.
of.
All right. Would I have knowledge of a temporary safe place to go?
Uh, you would know that there's like a series of like, I don't want to say like bandit hideouts, but like people who live off the grid, like have like a couple of like small shanty town type of places where like you can kind of lay low. Other than that, like no place in particular.
All right. I'm gonna recommend one of those for the short term for Donovan. And I'm trying to figure out if there's one in route of our long-term goal, of our long-term place, wherever that might be. I think a few sessions ago we had kind of spoken about where we wanted to head to get a long-term downtown. Donovan, you remember?
Yeah,
And I think they were saying it's going to take 3 days or 2 days or something like that.
I
Uh,
agree.
you guys are heading back towards the old mill by Lakeshore.
Yeah, that was the original plan, but without the anvil, we kind of. I don't know. It would be. It would probably be best that we just get to the nearest, safest area.
All right, so
Because I
let's
was
go
gonna
to the mill
try
side.
to use the mill, um, to get a forge going, but
So I guess let's try and go to the safest hideout.
yeah,
Okay. So Vathel, you know that there is a you know waylay type of town kind of just outside of the Carpathian border, kind of in like a disputed zone between New Eglia and Carpathia. And as you are leading the party there, you guys have several hours to, talk and ride and, all of that. So, um, Soggy is likely regaling you all with like stories of his time back with his clan as a fisher, you know,
Sort
and
of the tales of like of of myth of the myths that the kobolds have come up so far.
yeah, and like just telling you all about all the different types of fish that there are, but like he's using kobold names for them. So, like for instance, a pufferfish would be like a spiky fish, and a largemouth bass would be like a gulper fish, and so even though he's describing you all these fish, it's all in kobold terms, so it's like really hard to understand exactly what he means. But if you like try to picture it, sometimes you can like get it. And he just like is basically pulling the whole you know, Bubba from Forrest Gump, where he's like, there's all kinds of shrimp, and he's just telling you about all the different kinds of fish and all the different ways that you have to, like, be clever to catch them. And, his obsession with the ocean and water and everything is quite clear.
I kind of stay to south. I've only seen one or two fur bugs in my time, and so it's very interesting when I see them. What is where you're like from?
Well, it's a lot different of a feel from this place. We live with my family and friends. One of my best friends, I guess, was a sage who grew up in the village. Tends to keep to himself, but he likes to learn the more arcane arts, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, so we all live out in the forest of. Do I know like the different planes and things?
Yeah, but Air Thalis, the elven homeland that shifts in between the Feywild and the material plane, so that's how like you guys know about each other and all that. Like they have a naming convention where like your forest is literally just the Furbolg forest in like an elven tongue, so it's like la la fa la 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 la, but like it just means the Furbolg forest.
Yeah, so I guess I say that and then sort of walk back to my horse and give it my last apple as well.
Yeah, and he like gobbles it up and he nuzzles into you, and he's like kind of pawing at the ground and telling you like he didn't like that pulse.
Yeah, me neither, buddy.
And Soggy, your horse is like kind of like prancing around all happy and telling you that her name is Buttercup.
Soggy has never heard of what a buttercup is, but he says it's a very nice name.
Yeah, and she just keeps prancing around and like shaking her mane. She's a happy horse.
And then on the side, I kind of say to Donovan, we really need to do something about this sword in a more concise way because us traveling with the sword is more dangerous. It's causing us more trouble than it should.
I agree. That's why I'm saying we should get somewhere safe, lick our wounds, get some rest, and come up with a plan that's something we can agree that would function and be worthwhile.
From what you've seen, are the villagers friendly or foe?
Well, fortunately, I am somewhat known around these parts. I've made myself something of a hero in their eyes. Not something I intended to do, but as long as I tread
Because
lightly.
that last village didn't receive us very well, if you remember.
Well, there was a reason for that. We were using General Vasanthis's carriage, so.
No, I'm talking about the village before that where we got attacked in town for the cow.
Well, yes.
Okay, and you were saying?
We should probably obviously not go back there.
You guys are like looking at a map and just like pointing at places and being, well, here, remember the cow? And so you like X out that place, and then you're like, what about this place? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Remember we were driving the carriage, and you X out that place. So you're just like, you're like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of safe places, and then you're like, oh nope, not here. No, oh, not there.
But
Hell,
really,
I wouldn't even mind finding a nice riverbed and just setting up camp for a few days.
And I say I'm very much okay with that idea. But I think I know a few places where we might be able to lay low. That might be more secure than there's some underground hideouts we used to use during my mercenary days.
Sure.
And I mean, the people may not be the greatest if there are people there, but at least it's not violent protesters either, violent villagers either. But and so I guess we're trying to head towards someplace safe, at least underground for now.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
agree.
and so you start leading them, off towards this village, and as you guys are traveling along, you've had the benefit of a short rest before you set out, but now that you're far enough away from everything, you know that you gotta like rest the horses and take a meal yourselves because it's getting dark and you can still make it to this hideout before dark. But do you really want to like get there and then like see what the situation is before you take your meal and everything, or do you want to take it now while you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere and
All right.
and you know
Can we do what Donovan was suggesting first then about finding a lake to have the horse to get some water at least?
there's there's not really a lake, but if you roll, um hold on one second, let me look. If you roll a uh
Survival.
survival check, you might be able to find some source of water.
And I'm asking.
Yeah. So, you know that like here in the plains and everything, there's not really like just lakes and ponds and all that every which way, but um, pulling out a little tool that you keep on you at all times, it's like a
A
spade.
divining rod?
It's like a spade that you can like dig a little with, and you find a spot where there's like some clay, and you kind of like clear out
I
an
hit the,
you clear out an area, and you're able to form like, it's not much, but it's like a little bit, bigger than like a dog bowl of water. And at first it's all like muddy and filled with clay and everything, but like you just let everybody know to be patient, and then it like kind of clears after a little bit, and then all the horses are able to drink, and you guys are able to refill your water skins and all of that. Yeah, it's a divining rod. It
it's a
it
divining rod. That's exactly what it is.
it is, and then like you also have like the back end of it for like digging, so it's like a combination shovel and divining rod.
All right, and I kind of indicate to them we're getting a little bit close, so we just need to be a little bit more careful as we go into town. I'm gonna try and go into the backside, and my goal is if at any point I can use silent image because I can cast it at will, I'm gonna use that to help, I guess, obscure us as we approach
Okay.
in some way.
What kind of like, because obviously I play a little loose with silent image and
I
all
got you.
that. I
Because I
don't.
was thinking if there were more trees, but I mean it depends on what the area is like when we start to
It's
get closer. If
it's
there's more trees, I was gonna do, could I can get 15-foot cube of an image, So either an extra tree or so in the view, or maybe like a wall or a large rock or something, a large bush, something that just obscures our approach.
Yeah, so
So
this
from a
this
visual
this
point.
particular waypoint, it's the ruins of what was once a great city. And so there's like little like sections of crumbling wall here and there as you approach. And as you guys are getting closer and closer, you can see these sections of wall. Um,
But
so you're
I
already
would probably
naturally hidden a little bit, but so is anybody who would be, you know, along this like field of like half a wall here and a quarter of a wall there, you know, like there's just stones and everything.
Does Soggy know this ruined city?
No.
So just wanted to check.
or so I guess I would copy over other pieces of wall and uh, just to help guide our path or obscure our path
Okay.
from others.
Okay.
And
And
Silent Mimic it gives me a 15-foot cube that I can cast at will.
yeah. And so you have a section of wall that's kind of blocking anybody who would be hiding amongst the rubble, their view from you guys. And you guys are riding up, and as you do so, like it's getting very dark, and as the sun sets all the way down, suddenly riding through the rubble, you see a light up ahead, like a torch or a lantern come to light, and then like a cascade of dominoes, one after another, you see lights just begin to pop all up and down the rubble. You are completely surrounded, and some of the folk from around here jump up and out. They're wearing ragged clothes. They have dirty, dirty faces and look almost completely emaciated. Some of them have bows, some of them have slings, most of them have clubs or quarterstaffs of some kind. And before anyone can speak, the lights go dark, and we end this session of Heroes Wanted. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anybody who's watching. And as always, everyone, you ready, Soggy? Good gaming.